Alrighty, guys, it is 3:30. Time to wrap it up for today. So, holding pattern. We are stuck in a holding pattern right now, waiting for outcomes in the rainy situation, most likely. There's not much news to drive the market. We get a little bit coming up this week. Tomorrow we get retail sales, pending home sales. I'm not sure it's going to do much in terms of driving the market. I think it's all hanging on what if they're going to sign a deal or not. I guess they're going to meet today, or we'll see if something happens by tonight or tomorrow. But any news out of there is going to be what's driving the market in the short term. And of course, earnings reports. You get the earnings reports probably going to drive the market as well in the short term. But right now, you had to say, I mean, we are right back up to the highs again. There was no panic sell off today. We had the gap down at the open. We had some weakness going on. But you can see how sloppy this market has been grinding higher. It's like a very it's not selling off, it's just grinding higher. Now you had to be super aggressive to get on a trade like that. You have to step in front of it when it sells and when it pulls back like that and hope it doesn't keep going. So I mean I took one trade early on today on NASDAQ. I was in and out pretty quick and SS got shaken out of that trade and that was it. So didn't try to be over trading this. In this kind of market, if you try to over trade it, you're just going to get yourself in a spot where you lose money. You can probably try to fade edges and then go for a little bit, but it had to be small scalping trades is kind of the only thing which works well. And if you get caught, you have to be prepared to fade some heat and know when you're wrong. You can get stuck in a trade like this and you can sit there and it's going to grind you out eventually. So you just have to just take your loss when you're wrong on it instead of trying to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. Because the time you try to do it is when you get this kind of move, right? You sit there and you're sitting here trying to grind it down, and you get a big move like that. That would just absolutely cream you. So anyway, so we had some sloppy trading this morning, a little bit of selling right at before the London close, and then a slow grind up all day long. So, and you can see in the bigger picture, we are just kind of stuck in a range. So I would just start off range bound. I would look to sell strength against the 7150s, 7160s for rotations down. I would look to buy weakness against the 71. I probably drag it up into 30s, around about the 30s here, and then down here at the 20s for rotations up. Maybe a couple of levels lower as well. It's just adjusting the ranges for tomorrow. So selling strength, buying weakness. Same on the NASDAQ. We're going to sell strength here against, probably drop this edge a bit to the 750s, up to the 800s, 820s. And we're going to buy again down here at the 600s, 620s for rotations back up again. So pretty much a range bound market starting off the same way. I'm going to adjust these edges a little bit for tomorrow's trading. On the bond market, I had a working order there for a bit, and I kind of talked myself out of it. So I'm sitting here. I was short here. I was working a short here at the 20s for a bit, and I'm saying, looking at that, it's like they're not giving up at all. I mean, it doesn't look like they repriced it while they ran it down, they grind it higher and stalled there. So they can potentially run it lower here, but I guess cancel it, and a couple of bars later, your whole thing popped up with a couple of ticks. And as you can tell, we're right back to where I was. So we have been twisting in the wind for a while if you were taking that trade. So that is the danger. That when you sit through that, you get filled. I mean, the better way to put it is maybe a limit order right at that edge, and then let it sit there. So when you come up, you potentially could get filled there, but it's range bound, so you just have to try to fade the edges and be super patient. But late in the day like this, getting into the last hour, and you don't want to get stuck twisting in the winter too bad. It was moving a little bit more, but you can see how that volume absolutely died off after that London close. It was just nothing going on after that. So that's about it. On the cryptos, I took a couple of trades on the Bitcoin. I had a trade going here for a bit. This guy right here had a small scalp going here on the Bitcoin, a little trade right there, short scalp. And then I didn't engage it after that. Because they were grinding this higher. I wasn't quite kind of keeping track on that. So it didn't want to be super aggressive on the long side either. But so up 350. That's how small these contracts is. That was not a big trader by any means. Since I'm just up a little bit on that one. Put on gold as well, so to see what that looks like. It looks very much like silver in terms of how the depth of market works. So I'm going to keep that up. The only thing with silver and gold, when you trade them, the contract, nominal contract is kind of big, so the commission rates become high. It's a percentage of that nominal rate. I think a silver trade right now is about $3,500 or something nominal value, so a percentage of that. And gold's going to be like in the 5,000 range. So yeah, commission rate just gets big when you do that. So you have to make sure you can go for a little bit bigger trade. And then oil, haven't done much. I rolled that to the May contract. It's not rolled yet. I had to work on that rollover dates, but the April is not done yet. It expires today, so it's all over the place. So I forced a replace symbol back to May, and so I'm trading May right now on oil. All right, so that's the crypto side of things. Not everything has been in very much of a holding pattern. So we'll see how the whole thing develops going into tomorrow's trading. But right now, I'll wrap it up, and I'll see you guys bright and early in the morning. We go at this whole thing again. All right, guys, later.